This is Michael Waddington with the Military Law News Network. And today what we want to talk about is these military law firms that are popping up across the country that are boasting multiple lawyers. They're making it look like they have this deep bench of talent and skill. And in reality, what we have is just a bunch of lawyers that share a website and refer cases to each other. And I'm joined here today with attorney Timothy Bilecki. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you again.
Recently, we've been talking to clients that are calling us and they're talking with other attorneys, and several of them have mentioned that other law firms are telling military members that they should hire their firm because they have not one or two or three, but sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lawyers that are going to be working on their case. And they're using this idea that if you hire us, you're going to have 10 lawyers on your case and for a super discounted price. And it sounds a little too good to be true. So we did some research into some of these firms that supposedly have many lawyers working for them. And what we're finding is a disturbing trend. And you and I have been discussing this. Have you been seeing this out there in the Pacific?
No, I have, Mike. I see it all over the place. And I find the trend kind of troubling and disturbing. Like you, I've been out of the military for over 10 years now and have my own practice. And we have a real law firm. At my law firm here out in Honolulu, we have a quarter floor of a high-rise. It's myself, my law partner, Noel Tapon. I have 2 associate attorneys and a full-time investigator. But that took me 9 years to build. To get to a point where I was working instead from a Starbucks, a laptop, and a cell phone, I started 10 years ago, to where I'm at now, that took 10 years of building. What I'm seeing now is I'll see a website pop up for a military law attorney or a court-martial lawyer, and I'll look him up, and he'll be someone that just got out of the JAG Corps or was in the JAG Corps for 3 years or did one trial counsel position. And I look at their website, and 6 months later, they've got 9 or 10 associates. I'm like, well, how the hell does this happen? It took me 9 years to build the firm. Am I just too slow at this? Then I look at the website, what I'm seeing is a bunch of other attorneys, a lot of them don't have a lot of strong credentials. A lot of them don't have a big track record. And these are feeder firms. So what the main attorney does is he lists 6, 7, 8 attorneys, and they'll list them as of counsel. If you see the word of counsel, the red flag goes up. Or they'll even put associate attorney. And if a call comes into that website, they will farm you out to one of these other attorneys. And what typically happens is they pay a referral fee. And so if the fee is $10,000, $4,000 of that will usually go to the attorney that's actually going to represent you. $6,000 oftentimes goes to the main website, whoever owns that website. And you're stuck with an attorney that probably doesn't know what the hell they're doing, that is only getting paid $3,000 or $4,000 for it. And so I think it's very troubling because when you look at the website on its face, it looks like it's a massive or large law firm, but these are just feeder websites that will, I think, send these clients in absolutely the wrong direction. So they think they're getting a real law firm. They're not. And I think it's incredibly problematic. And then you see that in the results, and they wonder why they got found guilty, or they wonder why they lost their board, or whatever it happens to be.
Tim, here's another thing. I noticed what some of these firms are doing to try to compete with more legitimate attorneys is they're pulling results as well. They'll be like, look at our results. For example, on my website, every single one of those cases, either me personally or my wife and I did together. My wife is my law partner, and I don't list anyone else's cases. Those are all me as lead counsel if it's a trial. It's amazing. You're like, wow. In 1 month, they disposed of like 5 cases because they have 20 of counsel. That's like me listing all of your results, all of Noel's results on my website as if they're mine, and it's misleading. And they're also a lot of times not even listing the actual result. There'll be like hyped up results or results from like 5 years ago and a case where they were third chair. In the past year, I've had 2 different firms reach out to me. I'm not going to mention their names, but they wanted to make me of counsel to the firm. And I'm like, why would I join your firm of a bunch of lawyers with very little experience? And you want to put my name on the firm so then you could say that your cases have been on 60 Minutes, Time Magazine, your firm has someone who's written books and teaches. And I would never associate with people like that. But there's 2 specific firms, and they wanted just to use my name to pay me like 30% of cases that they get in, so long as they could use our firm's name and reputation to market their lawyers. And most of their lawyers, if you look at their experience, you go to our websites, it lists legal experience, criminal defense experience, things we've done, places we taught, things we've written. And then you look at these firm sites, a lot of their firm sites, and it just lists a bunch of military things like ARCOM was deployed to Iraq as a trial counsel in 2004. was airborne qualified. Like, that's great if you're trying to find someone to jump out of a plane, but if you're trying to find someone to represent your son or you and you're facing, 80 years in prison and sex offender registration, you want to get someone that actually is experienced at that type of work. You don't want a bunch of JV basketball players. You want LeBron on your case. And so be very careful if you find a firm that's marketing themselves as multi-lawyered, we're going to have all these lawyers on your case, because you're not. And only one lawyer speaks in court at any given time either. And who cares if you have a bunch of no-names that represent you that just got out of the JAG Corps? You could have 100 people that represent you just got out of the JAG Corps, and they don't amount to anything.
Yes, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Mike, because I also have had law firms approach me and say, "Can we use your credentials? Can you be of counsel to our practice or to our firm, and we'll give you a piece of the action?" First off, I'm absolutely not going to do that. I'm not going to associate myself with anyone. The only law firm that Bilecki and DuPont associates with is yours, and because it's legitimate. Oftentimes you'll call me. We've tried a murder case together. I mean, sir, there are times when you and I will work hand in hand, or oftentimes if you have a really large case and they need extra support, or the same way. That's all legitimate. But what's not legitimate is when someone calls me and says, "Hey, Tim, I know that you've been on media. I know you've been on CNN. I know you've had your cases on Fox. I know you've been on the news. We want to be able to put that on our website. We want to be able to use your case results so that way we can drive traffic and send those cases down to lower level attorneys, and we'll give you a piece of the action." I'm absolutely totally opposed to that. I would never actually do that. I have my own law firm, my own staff, and I don't need to associate myself with another firm that wants to pay me for my credentials that I've worked really hard for, that we've earned on the battlefield, that we've earned in court. And I think the real issue with this is, if you're watching this, you may say, "Well, Tim, you're just complaining because these are competitors." No, I don't. That's not the issue. The issue I have is I see service members getting railroaded all the time. We do appeals at our law firm. I have an attorney who just does appeals. And I read records. And I see these no-name attorneys who clients say, "Well, I thought I hired this person. I got farmed out to another attorney." And the records are ridiculous. You read these trials and you say, "You know what? You'd have been a hell of a lot better off just sticking with the military counsel. You would have saved some money. And you might still be in jail, but at least you'd have a little bit of jingle in your pocket." And so I think these feeder law firms are doing a great disservice to these potential clients, because, as I always say, you get one shot at the trial, because doing an appeal, it's twice as expensive than the actual trial, and you're sitting in prison, and the odds are much, much lower. You get one shot at this, and the outcome is going to change your life. And so you really want to put that into the hands of someone who is you're going to go to their website, they're going to give you to a no-name attorney, they're going to kick back the cost. And it comes down to integrity. I'll leave it at this. One of the things I say in closing arguments a lot, if you've come see my trials or watched my trials or read some of the closing arguments I've done, I say that integrity is either a character trait or a character flaw. You either have it or you don't. And when you're putting your firm out to be something it's not, I think it can lack a little bit of integrity. And if you don't have integrity with your clients from the onset, even from the marketing piece, even from the way you portray your law firm, then how can you have integrity with them throughout the entirety of the trial, where you've got to make, sometimes not saying life and death decisions, but the decisions you make or the decisions and the interactions you have with your client can fundamentally change the outcome of their life. And so is this really the type of person, number one, I don't want to do business with these people, but this just, on the business end, it's just money. If you're a client, it's your freedom and it's your life, and it's worth a hell of a lot more than money. So I'm just saying, if you see this out there, it's an alarming trend. Use great caution. If you see 10, 20 people, all these of counsels, if they don't actually have a real office where all these attorneys actually work at, if you see that, use great caution and just use some common sense, because $2,500 or a $10,000 fee isn't getting you 6 attorneys. It's just not going to happen. That's not the real world.
Well, the other thing is this: who are you going to be speaking to? And I guarantee you that when you retain my firm, and I know the same goes with you, if you retain my wife and I, we work every case together, you're going to be talking to her or one of our paralegals or me. And I'm going to be the one who shows up in court. You're going to get this face in court. And that also makes a difference, because who you hire to speak on your behalf is the difference whether you get convicted or get acquitted, or whether you get a month in jail if you're convicted or 6 years in jail. And so you need to know who you're hiring, what they look like, what they speak like, and you don't want to go try to do the cheapo version and hire someone that has this alleged big law firm when you don't even know who you're going to get. I had a case recently where my co-counsel quit it was in the military. This person got off the case that we were representing the client on in the middle, resigned their commission, and they took a job, and they're getting paid $60,000 for one of these military referral firms that I'm talking about. The lawyer had never tried a case, but that lawyer was going to be the local counsel for that law firm in that area. I'm not going to say the area. This person is a very nice person, but I would never have that person defending my son or any other service member because they just didn't have the experience. And so what they're doing is these firms will hire people that are local, maybe someone that's getting out of the JAG Corps, that's done a tour or two, maybe never tried a case, but they're local. And so they market that also, like, this guy's local, save money on travel. Hell, if I had to represent someone to defend my son and it cost $5,000 to get the best lawyer there or $10,000 to get the best lawyer there, just in airfare, and it gave him the best chance of getting the best outcome. Hell, I'd take out whatever credit cards I need to take out a loan if I have to, because I wouldn't just go with some half-assed lawyer just because they have a shingle in a shopping mall outside of Fort Bliss, for example. So that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Yeah, and I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. So we're saying to clients, if you're watching this, or if you have a son or a daughter that needs representation, just do your due diligence. Every attorney is different. It's a personality. Mike, you have a different personality than I do. You have a different trial strategy than I do. We're both very good lawyers. We're both very accomplished lawyers. And let's say an attorney is looking at hiring, you're looking at me. What I always tell clients is talk to both of us and talk to the law firm. See who's going to be the best fit for you, because it's a relationship. But going back to your point, I'm the managing partner of my law firm. I'm the equivalent of the commanding general here. So no case, I'm on every case. And even if it's one of my associates, I have 2 associates, one just does appellate work and one does court martials, but I'm on all of these cases. We war game them together. They're 2 offices down from me. So you're going to be able to talk to me. You're going to be able to come into my office at any point in time, assuming you're in Honolulu, sit down and talk with me. That's the most important thing. And if you're not comfortable or get a bad vibe or think someone's trying to scam you or think someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes, just walk away, because this isn't buying a used car. This is your freaking future, and this is your life. And so you got to make a good choice and a good decision, because oftentimes a bad choice is one you're going to live to regret.
All right, very well said. And until next time, this is Michael Waddington with Tim Bilecki.